Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Horror Master. And today, Chucky, your hair's a mess. What happened? It's a long story, but all I got to say is I got a shitty ass haircut. Okay, cool, but what does this have to do with today's video? Why are you here? I already did a Chucky ranking a month ago. Why are you here again? To annoy the living crap out of me, just like how he called me bitch on a previous ranking video? Shh, you be quiet. I have to introduce you to someone. Well, you see, I got a new friend named Chuck. Chuck? Is this Spanish or something? Oh, no, he's just named him that. He's our new baby. Did you already have a baby named Gwen? Shh, we don't talk about that. Anyways, so, we have this a baby named Chuck. Say hi. Hi. What? Where did he go? Oh, he just disappears. What is going on with this show? I don't know, but all I can say is this is definitely a Horror Master. Get out. Wait, get out. Ugh. What is happening? Oh my god. Anyways, today's video is gonna be nothing. Cool. Anyways, can you get out, please? Why? Because I told you to? Why? Because why? Because why? Okay, that's enough! Okay, can we take this seriously? Today's video is going to be reviewing the Amazing Digital Circus episode 6. It was insane. Yeah, I don't want to hear this. Good, go away. So, okay, yeah, get out here, disappear. Anyways, guys, so today's video is gonna be the Amazing Digital Circus episode 6 review. Now, yeah, this episode was absolutely insane. And, I actually watched it while on vacation, so that's fun. Yep, I watched it the day before I went to Six Flags New England, so that was a fun treat. But, you know, I'm not gonna talk about Six Flags New England in this video, because I already talked about enough in my last video. So, if you want to go check that video out, go check it out. It's very complicated, to say the least. But, anyways, so let's get into this episode, titled, They All Get Guns. Now, a lot of people have been talking about this, and I agree. So before we get into this episode, I just want to say something. The episode titles seem like they've been getting less and less creative. Like we got Candy Carrier Chaos, The Mystery of Manhole Manor, even though the full thing isn't on screen for some reason. Fast Food Masquerade, and you get to Untitled. And then They All Get Guns. To be honest, when I first seen this title, when the episode, was you know, gonna premiere in like 23 hours, I was like, they all get guns? That's kind of underwhelming. Like, why is the title so standard compared to something like Candy Carrier Chaos or the Fast Food Masquerade? Or even Untitled, because at least that's funny, you know, and it kind of fits it, because we don't even know what to call this episode. But this, why couldn't you just call it, like, I don't know, like, Dark Gun Shootout or something? Okay, that name's kind of terrible. But still, and people have been theorizing on, you know, it's just been getting burnt out on these Digital Circus episodes because he's been glitching and he's just like, he feels like he's pointless and he doesn't even know what to do, so he's just like, instead of calling it something crazy like Untitled, They All Get Guns, like he doesn't even care anymore. And we'll see why once we get to the episode. And also, I just want to mention, so for the rest of the Amazing Digital Circus episodes from episodes 6 through 9, they're going to be over 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And since GOOSEWORX said that it's going to be as long as the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, that means the rest of the episodes will be at least 40 minutes, which is going to be absolutely insane. Like, that's actually insane. Like, you know, I thought 9 episodes, it was going to be the biggest series yet, and then I realized it's so massive, it's going to be over 30 minutes for the rest of the episode. Why was Untitled not 30 minutes? That would have been 30 minutes, because, well, when I first saw the runtime of this episode, I was like, wait, 25 minutes? And yet we have like 6 different adventures in that episode, so yeah. So I'm gonna stop nagging about freaking title runtime. Let's just get right into the episode. Also, quick fun fact. The logo's on the bottom, just like the pilot, and then the rest of them are on top. Creative? Fun fact? Yeah. Oh my god, this episode got 300 million views. Cool. Anyways, let's actually move on to this episode where Pomni looks super evil in the title. Jax looks like he's having so much fun. The episode starts with Kane announcing that, and later in the episode, we're going to see the favorite character awards. At first, I thought this was a sponsor segment, but nope, it's an actual part of the episode, which makes sense. Because on the Wacky Watch website, which is basically something that, it's like TADC's own website, basically, that you could follow your favorite character. And it was quite rigged, to say the least. But you could follow your favorite character and stuff, and, I kind of knew this had something to do with episode 6, because I was like, why are they doing all this stuff for TADC? Episode 6 must be around the corner. I thought it was going to come out September 19th, but no, it came out August 15th, which is insane. So the episode really begins with Jax and Pomni just walking together with Supal dropping her piece and hiding in a flower pot, because she said that, Kane is talking about inside house adventure, and you know how Supal feels about those. Supal also mentions she doesn't like hiding in her room because Kane will just start singing Daisy Bell in front of her door. Which, if you don't know what Daisy Bell is, I'll get to it later. And then Jax is a dumbass and calls Kane over.
Oh, let's ask him. Hey, Kane! You fucking asshole!
Ew, why is Jax's teeth that ugly? Okay, then Kane finds Supal, and then he announces that today's adventure is going to be a team adventure. And they'll be meeting them up in 5.7 minutes. Because he really wanted to be specific there. Also, fun fact, there's an animation here. So you see how Supal's on the ground, and her eyeballs aren't attached? Well, in the next shot, we see Supal's eye right there. Animation error, but that's okay because TADC sometimes has animation errors. They always have a few, but that's understandable. Animation's a very difficult process, and it is really hard work. But I gotta say, this show's animation is even better than last time. Like, holy shit, what's the 9th episode gonna look like by then? Kane announces today's adventure is going to be a short one because of the character awards. Favorite character awards. And Kane is forcing poor Bubble to carry a massive camera bigger than her. Or, him. Kane says that he liked the softball adventure from the last episode and saying we should do more sports events, which he definitely comes up with the most creative sports I've ever seen.
The Kane Leagues, we have the 400-meter vertical skedaddle, bisection boogie egg ball, lateral hijinks, orange sport, ball run, walk ball, run walk, and ball ball.
Someone's telling me I really want to play walk ball. And ball. What is ball? You just carry a ball around or throw it to each other and or smash each other? I don't know. See what I mean? Kane is just becoming stupid. Ball. Then Supal, of course, gives an attitude because she doesn't want to be on a team with a Jax. And Kane gets really annoyed of her. And of course, Pomni and Supal are constantly saying they like more chill and relaxing adventures, which I disagree with. I like more action adventures where Jax is carrying around a gun. Also, Pomni, can you be nice to Ragavan? She's been trying to be nice to you, and you're not even treating her with any kindness. And yet in the last episode, you're like, I'm gonna become friends with Jax, but not her. Come on, Pomni, she deserves some respect too. And she's going through enough of a hard time. She's got a button in her eye. And Kane explains that he no likey because Supal gave an attitude, and then
I want the ability to have sex.
Yes, we all knew this was coming. GOOSEWORX promised that we would get one of those jokes, and I'm not gonna say the actual word because I don't want YouTube to get on my butt about it, but just for a quick little fun fact, if you go to audio track in the settings and go to English CB, you can actually hear the uncensored version of that line, where you actually hear the Supal say the thing. It was actually originally going to be uncensored, but YouTube forced the creators to bleep it out, unfortunately. Come on, YouTube! And yeah, I'm not gonna say it because YouTube's just getting more trickier and trickier these days. Like, I'm actually starting to get nervous of YouTube's community guide-wise because I feel like if I say something wrong in my YouTube videos, I'm just gonna get taken down for it. Thanks a lot, YouTube. Even Supal hates YouTube. Kane's 5. And Kane starts slowly losing his mind, and we gotta just admit, why is Subo such in a mood today? She's not nice at all. And then Kane actually cusses for the first time in this show.
Now, you know what they say about assuming? It makes an ass out of you and a Ming.
Ming? Did Kane just say ass?
See, his is not censored, but when Pomni said ass, it was censored. See what I mean by Kane losing his mind? And then we get the actual best character in this show.
Hi, I'm Ming. I really don't appreciate what your assumptions have done to my reputation.
To be honest, when I first saw the sneak peek of episode 6 on YouTube, where it was at San Diego Comic-Con, this scene kind of weirded me out, because I'm like, who is this man again, and why is he pointing at Sue? But he's absolutely the best character in this whole show. And then Kane just starts changing the subject. Kane introduces a private room where no one can see or hear you once inside. And then he introduces the episode's main theme, guns! And then we just get now Kane is turning this into Squid Game, basically, because now we're playing Russian roulette. But it's actually the kid-friendly version, because Kane is trying to make things kid-friendly.
Character A will take the gun into the private room and empty it out of all its ammunition. Then come out and give it to Character B. Character B will then take the gun and shoot themselves in the head, trusting that Character A emptied it in the private room. Character A will also have to trust that Character B won't turn the gun on them. So everyone is incentivized to follow the rules and trust each other.
As Supo says, it's a bit convoluted, and I agree. That would have been the most complicated episode of TADC. Yeah, I would have had to watch that like twice. Oh my god, wait! And then he gives the gun to Chax, of course, which I'm surprised they even pay attention to. And then Kane gets the most complicated recap I've ever seen.
Huh?
Give Ragafa a break! I feel so bad for her now. Like, she's innocent. And then, of course, Chax misfollows rules, so Kane's like, fuck it, have guns, whatever. He doesn't care. I just like how Kane just doesn't care anymore. It's like, guns, here. I mean, where he says is in the description, in this episode, guns. Then Supo suggests Kane to, have some meaning to this adventure, so he forces the characters to split them into teams of 3, because there's 6 of them, and then this is going to turn into basically gun battle royale, which is definitely, makes sense, because this episode's one-word description from GOOSEWORX was guns, and yeah, we knew this episode was going to be something about guns, and, well, that's where this came from. Chax wants Gango to be on his team, but Subo's like, nope, she's coming with me because you are a bitch. And then, surprisingly, Pomni actually asks if Ragafa, since it seems like she doesn't want to become friends with Ragafa. But of course, Ragafa, the one time she asks it, she's like, I don't want Kaner to be stuck with Chax. And, if Pomni teams up with Kaner, then Ragafa will become on a team with Chax, which we do not want that. So, Pomni chooses to be on Chax's team, and Ragafa's gonna be on Kaner's team. Then Ragafa says if you need any support, help, or you need me, then she's here. So, yeah. Then obviously Pomni is on Chax's team, which, this is where I start getting worried about Pomni, especially in the trailer. I'm like, is Pomni gonna be okay after this episode, and after that controversy from Ragafa? I think she'll be fine, right? Then Gango actually does a really smart move and decides to save her Comedy Max for when she needs it, which is one to shoot a Tommy gun and just whap Magagoi, if I can even say that last word right. By the way, is it me or am I going for Team on Max, which would be Supo and Gango? They're just so sweet together. I love their friendship. Then the game starts and Ragafa's missing a wife because Chax shot her. So, and Kane doesn't give a heck, and it's just paving in the sun, which is quite interesting to say the least. Also, when I seen Let the Games Begin, I was really thinking of Squid Game. I was like, Let the Games Begin? Is this a reference to Squid Game? Then Kaner actually does something really interesting. He gives Ragafa a butterfly, which heals her health. And the cause of him getting the butterfly is that he just made it up, which is actually really interesting because there's more evidence in this episode that something must be going on, which I'll explain it in a minute. And then this scene is basically about Shax trying to get Pomni to become evil, go madness, and just kill the players. Which, it's not even really killing, but, Shax just wants her to become a mad girl. I was gonna say madman, but she's a girl, so yeah. So yeah, that's basically what the scene is, basically. Just Shax telling Pomni, yeah, go after your friends and stuff. And, and now this scene is actually where the theory continues. Pomni doesn't want to hurt her friends, but she chopped the bow in and it was weak. Why was it weak? Was it because, she didn't want to hurt her friend? Which, there must be something going on in the circus. Kaner made up the butterfly, and Pomni, doesn't want to hurt her friend, so her bow was weak, which is really interesting. Another interesting fact is, on Shax's gun it says Cain and Abel, which, that's what the C and A from the pilot episode actually stands for. And people are saying, the Abel part stands for Kaner, because Kaner was one of the creators of the Amazing Digital Circus. Another theory is that Cain has two different color eyes. One side is a good side of Cain, and the other bad side, and the other one is the bad side of Cain. Abel is the good side, and Cain's the bad side. Personally, I believe more that Kaner was the creator of the circus, since he was the first person to join the circus. But, this show's lore is really interesting. Can't wait to see how they reveal that in the final 3 episodes. And Shax is also telling Pomni to act like herself in the real world, and just try not to be someone else, and just become someone of her own. And see how Shax just points the gun cartoonishly and it shoots. It's what's powerful. This is where the theory continues, but I don't want to become a fairy tale or anything. So Shax claims he's the funny one. Then Shax says Ragath's the cheery one, Gango's the sad one, Kaner's the crazy one, Zuba's the grumpy one, and Pomni's the one that hasn't figured that one out yet. But let's all be honest here. Pomni's the confused one. And Pomni Shax gets in Pomni's face. He's like, just let loose the gun. And then Pomni lets loose the gun, and it turns out to be a really powerful bullet. And then Pomni's just like, okay, what the heck? I'm just going to be evil. So she turns to basically evil Pomni from the last episode.
Pomni the Evil!
Thank you.
And Kaner basically tries to become John Wick before he's shot and loses a wife. And it turns out Subal is carrying a sniper and shooting Kaner with it. And then the real battle begins with Kaner shooting Subal. And then Shax and Pomni, of course, gets involved. Which, Shax is basically telling her, yeah, evil. And then Shax shoots her hands off. And then Pomni shoots Ragatha, and Shax tells Pomni she's cool because she's shooting her. And then Ragatha hides, Shax goes for Ragatha, Pomni goes for Kaner.
Come on, man.
And of course Shax finds Ragatha because Ragatha can't hide anywhere. And then Ragatha tells Shax he's corrupting Pomni, which is very true. By the way, I love Shax's facial expression in this scene. Is actually hilarious. See, this show's animation is just getting better and better. I love it. And then Shax just shoots the gun, but before he could, Ragatha sticks her finger in and it explodes behind him. And Ragatha actually takes a heart out of him. And then Shax gets pissed and just kills Ragatha. I feel like Shax is one of those characters where he wants to be cool and violent, and then when he actually gets shot or something, he unlocks a new emotion, piss. And then Ragatha appears in the loser corner, which I would want to go here. It looks so gorgeous and beautiful with all those fishes. It's actually one of the most coolest looking areas in TADC in my opinion. Also, quick fun fact, Shax actually gets his tail in this episode. We don't know why he gets his tail for some reason, but he gets it back, so that's cool. I'd say he definitely looks better with a tail, in my opinion. And then we get another talking scene with Gango and Subal. By the way, warning, there's lots and lots of talking scenes in this episode. But I really like that, since it gives the characters a lot of character development. I usually love these scenes, and this one's actually my favorite. Gango is super worried Jax is gonna be mad at her because Gango didn't choose to team up with him and thinking that Jax is gonna make it painful for her, which is actually really dark. But Subo manages to calm her down by basically telling her, well, they talk about like Gango's comedy max and stuff, and Gango is worried about her comedy max because, she has 2 emotions, everyone else, it's like One Piece. Gango has 2 max, though, which is basically controlling her emotions. And Gango is like, how are you supposed to wake one part of you that makes you worse? Subo tells Gango that it exists, and the only part you should care about you is the real you. By the way, great reflections of Gango's max. That is actually such a smart, way to use the animation to show Subo's reflection on the max. It's actually so cool. And after the conversation, Gango is now in beast mode saying, go kill Pomni and Shax. Which is actually disturbed me when I heard that. And then we get the conversation fight we've been waiting for.
Alright, here's one. What's with the corn thing?
Yes, finally we hear why Jax is afraid of corn!
You're not gonna let me out of this one. Well, I don't know, it's a bunch of little pods on it. Looks kind of like an egg sac or something. It's gross. Makes my skin crawl.
I can actually relate to Jax in this one. The pods are kind of a little... it kind of reminds me of Goosebumps and stuff. It's a little gross. I can actually relate to Jax. I just like how everything's being taken so seriously in this episode, even corn! And that was the main joke in episode 5. And just to explain this scene in a second, Jax doesn't like any vegetables. He's a carnivore, which makes sense because he literally ate evil Jax in Untitled, episode 5.
I'm right behind you, aren't I?
I love Kaner. And then we get a dark fighting scene. And despite Kaner using his superpowers, he absolutely gets demolished. Also, is it weird? Does Pomni's teeth look super disturbing? Now it's time for another emotional conversation. This one's definitely the most emotional. But this scene actually made me love Raghafa and Kaner. Because I used to think Raghafa and Kaner were middle row characters, but now they are probably in my top list just because of this scene. The voice actor did an incredible job, and the animation's just so good. This is probably my favorite scene in the whole episode. It's just so good. I honestly thought after episode 4, Raghafa was gonna turn out to be evil or something crazy like that. But no, she's actually showing her real emotions. She's basically trying too hard to get people settled and comfortable and not giving them their own space. And she's basically claiming that she's failed Shax, and now she's gonna fail Pomni, and Gango and Soup will never talk to her. But with the magic of Kaner's talking and how he was able to calm Pomni down in episode 3, he calms Raghafa down in episode 6. Which, I just love Kaner for that. He's hilarious. But also, he is such a good person to talk to, or chess piece. This is just an incredible scene. I gave these 2 voice actors so much credit. I think the cast is great for this show. But especially when, they're in emotional scenes, they really make the scenes beautiful and stuff. And just the visual and stuff of, the aquarium in front of them, it's just so cool looking. Raghafa basically wants everyone to be happy and stuff.
Yourself?
Well, that makes me concerned. I hope she doesn't hate herself. Then Kaner says he hated himself, and then Raghafa actually helped him. So that made her happy. Well, to explain it more properly, and she basically helped Kaner get settled in and stuff, and Raghafa feels better and stuff. She's just gotta give people her own space, and, but she still needs to be there for them.
Taking. The committee's gonna love that.
Creepy. And now we get the most badass scene in TADC history, with the coolest music ever. And then Gango found Tommy gun, which means...
It's time.
And then... Gango is the top 3 character now just because of how insane she is. And then this scene's incredible.
Shoot.
I just love how her Comedy Max cracks open, but she's still smiling underneath it. That's so creative, and I just like to add on, Stupid just pops up and says, shit. And then we get the most satisfying run-in scene I've seen in my whole life.
You're just gonna hide in your room?
Oh, okay, Subo, you're buff. Whoa. Where did she get all those grenades from? And then we get Daisy. Daisy.
Give me your answer.
Are you seriously gonna start singing that?
Don't let this cheerful version fool you into thinking it's a nice cheerful song, because the original one sung by a computer back in 1961, it's the most creepy thing ever. Like, seriously. You would rather have your 5-year-old kid watch Terrifier than that. I'll just play it. If Kane sings that original song in front of Subo's door, I can actually see why Subo was creeped out. I would be too, especially when I was sleeping and then I heard just Kane sing that song. I would be so angry at Kane. I would rather listen to my alarm clock than that song. Also, no one brought that this up yet, and I don't know how no one noticed it, but what's that mysterious voice?
Bicycle build for two.
You heard that weird, mysterious, deep voice? Was that Jax's voice or someone else's voice? I can't really tell. If it's someone else's voice, let me know in the comments below. I need to know who it was. Of course, Jax has the key, and then Subo's like, shut the F up, and throws a grenade at them. And Subo's the most badass ever. Okay, Subo might be my favorite character now. God damn, she's probably my favorite character now. This is the episode made me love her. And I also know that Subo doesn't have a gender, but I actually think Subo is a girl if she had one, because she just kind of sounds like one, and just like, you know, her toy pieces overall reminds me of one. This seems interesting. Jax looks at Cosmo's door. He looks away, looking like he's almost cried. Then we see Ribbit, and then Jax is just looking at it, and then he runs. And now this is where my theory's officially confirmed. Pony's like, what if I just use this last sniper right, and then just shoots at the wall, bounces all over, and hits all of Subo's guns. And then the last part hits her back. And whoop, guess what happens? And Subo gets shot down, and why does Pomni and Jax look so creepy in this scene? Why are their eyes and mouth glowing? Are they in the dark or something?
Well, shit, man. Guess that's the end of that. See you on the flip side.
Fun fact, if you watch the behind the scenes, she actually pulls out the middle finger.
Well, shit, man. Guess that's the end of that. See you on the flip side.
And then...
What?
I freaking love Subo's facial expression here. This episode animation's so good, and I thought it couldn't get better than episode 5. God damn. And Pomni gives Jax a hug, and then Jax just pushes her away, which was quite rude. Because I believe you two were friends, not frenemies. Then it's time. Pomni says it's time to betray each other, and then it just and she doesn't even have a bullet left, so Russian roulette, and then Jack's like, yeah, you could just betray me. So, and she actually wasn't gonna do it, and then Jax starts getting on her ass, basically saying she's not cool. I think what Goose meant by the beginning of the storm was this scene right here, because this scene is actually kind of terrible because of how mean Jax is to Pomni here. It's actually insane.
Do it.
If I shoot you right now, are we still gonna be friends afterwards?
We were never friends. Yeah, I did tell you a lot, didn't I? I'm looking forward to thinking about that tomorrow.
No.
And then Pomni tells Jax that all things we've been doing together, we can't forget about it. God, I can't talk today. I was just with the scene play.
Oh, we're not doing this. You're not gonna look me in the eye and tell me nothing we've been doing together meant anything to you, because I know that's not true.
And Pomni tells Shax he doesn't take anything seriously because after I immediately responds, we're going to become... That's what everyone wants, a straight couple. I mean, even I thought they were going to become a couple in this episode, but you know how Goose thinks about that. And then Pomni tells Shax are we going to pretend none of this even happened? And then Pomni tells Shax this is why he didn't show up to Cosmo's funeral, because in episode 2 he walked away. And she's telling Shax he's scared to show an actual human emotion. And Shax is just responding, I will be bored to tears, because he's just ignoring all of Pomni's lines. And then Pomni tells Shax that this is what causes the characters to attract in the first place. And then we get the scene that I think for what made everyone hate Shax.
Oh my god! Are you seriously gonna blame me for something that everybody else did too? You didn't even know him! You don't even know what people are like before they abstract. They are not pleasant to be around. Like at all!
By the way, great voice acting by Michael Kovacs. He did such a great job voicing Shax. Definitely the best Shax performance we've seen yet. And Shax's still on, so you're gonna shoot me or what? And of course, Pomni says if she attracts tomorrow, Shax basically says, I'd move on and forget about you. Which really hurts Pomni, and I think when we all first saw this episode, we thought Pomni was going to do something else. I obviously can't say it on YouTube because, well, YouTube would take this video down if I said it, but you definitely know what I'm talking about. I think this episode was going to have something different happen, but it's too dark for YouTube. So Pomni throws a gun at Shax, and then they start a whole fight.
Hey, what are you doing?
Fight back!
Are you crazy?
I said fight back!
I knew a fight scene between them would happen eventually because of that Japan ad. Anyways, so Shax basically gets really angry and says some mess up things to Pomni.
A misunderstood little chicken fetus in an egg that needs to be cracked open. Well, I am not. I do not care about you or anyone else in this circus in the slightest. End of story. You are my playthings, and I get joy out of making you suffer. I'm the one who causes pain for fun. If I led you on, it was just to make this part hurt you more.
Wow, I love this scene of Shax. Michael Kovacs did such a great job. He killed it with this scene. And Shax leaves Pomni, and then we get to the favorite character award, with Pomni and Shax looking all, not so happy. And then this scene, I actually love this scene. It turns out, it looks like Pomni and Raghafa are starting to become friends again, which it's good because, well, I don't want Pomni to be friends with Shax. Shax is such a bitch. And Shax introduces the character awards, and then just a bunch of mannequins says we love you, and he's embarrassed. And then after that, Shax just goes to the bathroom. And then this scene actually disturbed me so much. I actually really thought Shax was gonna abstract in this scene. I actually think Shax might abstract in the next couple of episodes. Oh my god, disappearing guy's back! By the way, I just love how episode 6 of TADC just ignores episode 5, Cliffhanger of the Mannequin. It's not even about that. I wonder when that mannequin will come into play again. Saber Mouth Award goes to Subal, and she's got the stupid sauce. And I don't know if Pomni is concerned of Shax or if she's just looking at him for some reason, but who knows?
Right, folks.
Now, Kane announces the favorite character of TADC, and can you guys guess who it is? I'll give you guys 5 seconds. Alright, the favorite character is...
Why, it's me, everyone! Wait, I was right now. It's me.
Maine, yes! He's the best character, finally! Now the episode ends here. Alright, that's the end of the... You guys didn't think I was gonna miss the post-credit scene, right? Of course there's not a post-credit scene. Wait, there's a post-credit scene? Oh, of course there is! I'm just messing with you guys, because there is a post-credit scene, and actually it's really important to the episode. This post-credit scene has Kane looking at which character, how many voted for him. He got no votes, of course, and then... So yeah, Kane basically glitches out, which meaning that he's definitely losing his mind. And fun fact, the red and blue eyeballs is actually a reference to the cover of the book this show is based off, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, which is a cool Easter egg. And yeah, I think Kane might become the next villain, but who knows? I hope he does. That would be a cool direction. I actually really hope that Kane, the next adventure in episode 7 is gonna be war. That would be so cool. Now that's the end of the episode. Overall, it's by 10 miles my favorite episode. I thought episode 5 was mind-blowing. I was wrong. Episode 5 is still my second favorite episode, but episode 6 freaking blows all the other episodes out of the wazoo. It definitely is the beginning of the storm, and it definitely is the best performance so far, with Michael Kovac giving a great performance, and Supple being probably my new favorite character now. And the other characters did a great job too, like Kaner, Ragva, and Pomni, and Gangle. I thought all the characters did great. Each character got their own scene, and it was just, this episode was just freaking amazing. I wouldn't say there's really anything wrong with this episode at all. I thought this episode did a great job of providing character development and how dark this episode is. If I had to give out a little nitpick, I was hoping this episode would teach us a little more about Ribbit, but hey, maybe we'll more about him in episode 7. But even then, that's not a nitpick, because GOOSEWORX is basically saying that episode 7 is gonna be the biggest, darkest, and most intense episode of the whole show yet. And I'm definitely super excited for episode 7. Everyone talking about it, saying it's gonna be the most insane episode yet, and probably the peak of the madness. And it's gonna be so big that it had to be split into 2 episodes, which is absolutely insane. So I cannot wait to see how episode 7 is gonna turn out. Now, if I had to predict the release date of episode 7, well, I would have actually maybe said October. But then Glitch just announced on Wednesday that Knights of Guinevere is coming really soon. Which, if you don't know what Knights of Guinevere is, it's Glitch's new show they teased back in January this year. And it looks like the trailer is going to be coming out in about an hour and a half by the time I'm recording this video, which is 1:26, and usually they release their trailers around 3 o'clock now. So it looks like Knights of Guinevere is gonna be their next show. So but I don't think it's gonna delay episode 7 that much. I think this will give GOOSEWORX and the crew enough time to work on episode 7, 8, and 9. So I think episode 7 we could see come out in November or December. That is my prediction. I think Knights of Guinevere will come out in September, and then we'll get episode 7 in either November or December. I think it will come out December the latest and November the earliest. Well, what do you guys think when episode 7 will come out? Let me know in the comments. I think episode 7 is going to be the best one yet, but I do not know how it could get better than episode 6. But each episode just keeps getting better and better and better. And honestly, I'm excited to see how these last 3 episodes are gonna go. I just can't believe we're 3 episodes away from the show being finished. It's gonna be a bittersweet ending, because I think it's good to not add too much filler to the show. Since I don't think it's a good idea to ruin the show by adding a bunch of 5 million seasons. I don't want to become the next SpongeBob, because SpongeBob is pretty much garbage now. And I don't want TADC to become that. So even though I'm sad that TADC is going to be ending, it's already going to be ended by this time next year. Because they did say, I think that Gaslight District episode 2 is coming out after TADC episode 9. So by the time the second episode, Gaslight District, comes out, TADC will already be over, which is crazy. But I'll definitely, if you guys want me to review the Gaslight District, let me know in the comments. I think I am gonna review Gaslight District. I'll make a review once the second episode comes out. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more TADC content, and I will be back. Sorry I haven't been uploading too many long-form videos recently. I've been incredibly busy and stuff, with a bunch of stuff going on. I'll get to that in another month, because there's a lot of stuff going on. One big thing's event's happening right now, so I will talk about that probably in a few months in one of my videos, maybe even in community posts. So yeah, so if there's less long-form videos, that's why. But I'm gonna try to get out as much as I can. So anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Shh. No, you shh. You're a bitch. Why? Because you gave me a bad haircut! I didn't give you a bad haircut. You just gave yourself one. No, Tiffany did my hair, and she did a horrible job. Well, go call Tiffany a bitch. Oh, cool. Alright, I will see you all next time. Anyways, episode 6 is the worst episode of the show, because I feel like I'm gonna up track. Of course he would think that. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye! Go away, Horror Master. Anyways, catch you all next time. I'm Shax, and I'm cool. And I will not review episode 7, because if I up track, I swear to God. Anyways, bye.